Am I the a-hole for telling my stepmother that she's not my family after she removed me and my sister from inheritance after my father's death? First, I'd like to mention the history between me, my sister, and our stepmother. 21F, and my sister's 26. Parents divorced when we were really young, so our father didn't live with us for too long. Both me and my sister stayed with our abusive mother. When I was maybe 10, my father met my stepmother, who he married after 4 years of their relationship. At first, she was civil. I liked her as a child, and when I realized that she might be my future stepmother, and due to the lack of a mother figure, I treated her like a family member and always thought that this feeling is reciprocated. At the time, she rented an apartment and had other roommates. And for some reason, I didn't ever notice that when I was visiting her, it was always when there was nobody at home. Why is it relevant? Well, when I was 12, my mother was abusive at the time and hit me horribly. I've had bruises all over my body. I tried calling my father, but he didn't respond since he was at work. So instead, I went to my yet-to-be stepmother, seeking some solace, maybe help, since she knew very well what was happening at home. She didn't let me in. She told me there were other roommates at home and couldn't let me in. I tried to be understanding, so instead I spent the rest of the day outside, not knowing where to go. I didn't really have a place to stay. My father later told me that she's too embarrassed to show me in front of her roommates. I thought it was valid as a child, but no, it wasn't. There were other familiar situations, but to summarize, she married my father but never took the responsibility for his baggage, at the same time behaving nicely, but it was never genuine, and now I see it. When they finally bought their house, I curiously asked if I can stay with them at least once in a while, but in return my father didn't say a thing, looking guilty, and she just awkwardly smiled, responding with "we will see." Guess what? They never let me in. I could visit them, but only for a day, never longer. Even at their wedding reception, we were placed far, at the back of the hall. Absolutely no one knew we were our father's kids. Just like that, I knew there's no hope, so I stayed civil but slowly started cutting both her and my father off my life. The worst thing is the fact that my family always defended her. She was a perfect family member for them, and everyone always told me that she cared deeply for both me and my sister. Kinda hard to believe it, considering she was never present in our life. Even better, when my sister didn't have a place to live because our house was way too small, apartment with 2 rooms for 4 adult people, she surprisingly let her live in their own house, but let her live only for a month here. When my sister couldn't find any other place to stay, it was dragged to 2 months. My stepmother confronted my sister and told her that wasn't the deal and she has to move out as soon as possible. Everything happened without our father's knowledge because he was genuinely happy our sister lived with them. Our stepmother was the one who didn't want us to live with them. With that knowledge, I held a grudge against her. Of course, I never said anything, but it stayed in my head. In 2021, when I barely turned 18, my father died because of COVID. It was a traumatizing experience for us all, but everyone in the family felt the most empathetic towards our stepmother. Due to my complete dissociation at this time and poor health, since I also nearly died because of COVID, I was quite an easy target, and so was my sister. We were vulnerable, so it wasn't really hard to make us accept the inheritance of my father, since she didn't want to lose her house or other things they shared. But turns out our father had debt, and it went straight to us. Thankfully, my mother paid it off, saying it's not our debt and we shouldn't pay for it. Not only that, she prepared a meeting with a notary to transfer the ownership of their house, car, and parking spot to her. She told us that it was her and her parents who paid for everything, since my father was broke. But I find it hard to believe, because even if he didn't pay for the whole house, he still paid for the furniture, and I know it. But under her and family pressure, I accepted to do it, so did my sister. I admit, I completely lack backbone. For some reasons, I emphasized with her, forgetting that I also lost someone in this whole situation. But with that, I don't consider her anything in my life anymore. To me, she's a stranger. After our meeting with the notary, I told her that with this meeting, she completely cut off everything. She's now a stranger, and she better not call herself my family since I don't consider her one, just like she never admitted to me. I spoke to my sister and my family about it, venting that I have a but pain when I think of her, and from now on I won't be even responding to her messages. They told me I'm an a-hole because if I was the one at her place, I would do the same, since everyone can be slightly selfish. They told me that she lost her husband, and it's a tragedy, so I should stop being petty, and she has every right to this house, and we don't. Well, she made it come true. I legally don't have any rights to any of their assets anymore, and I feel bad for being so weak. At the same time, I feel that maybe I might be unreasonable. Everyone tells me I should be understanding and she's all alone, but at the same time no one ever helped me when I was abused. And no one says anything about the fact that she just took everything that we had after our father.
So, please tell me.
Am I the a hole for being mad at her?